Shalom, my name is Adam Wasser from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York. On the topic of why I believe that Barack Obama should be reelected as President of the United States, let me first say a little background on myself. I used to be a Republican when I was a kid, conservative. Then over my early 20s, now I'm 31, I was a moderate Republican. Then I went on to the Democratic side. Now I'm just an independent because I feel that both Republicans and Democrats have their positive and negative sides, and I really swayed on both directions depending on the issue. So I'm an independent. I voted for Barack Obama because, for one, yeah, I will admit he's black. I felt that black Americans should have representation in the White House, and I felt that Barack Obama could help the inner cities of America. New York City, thank God, has gone through a renaissance because of Rudolph Giuliani, the former mayor of New York. And if it wasn't for Giuliani, New York would be a slum, like most of the slums are in America. And I felt that Barack could change that all. Unfortunately, this has not been the case. Barack Obama has not really kept to any of his promises. He's been a failure for the most part as a president. So, if I feel that he hasn't been a good president, he hasn't really kept to his word, why do I feel that he should be reelected? Well, for one, we are in a situation in America where economically we can't really do anything as far as growth and changing things like more environmental laws, more green ideas of energy and stronger policies across the world, and more humanity works, and building up the inner city. We're kind of on a freeze when it comes to progression, and I think any president that would be in charge right now, even George Bush, who my favorite president of the last 20 years is George Bush Jr. I don't think he could have done anything. I think it would have been the same situation. The last 4 years is not a time. Barack Obama became president, I feel, in a time where America can't really progress. We need to relax and clean up the mess that we made, and we need not to make new policies, but to just pay off our bills and lick our wounds. So I felt that during this time of his presidency is not a time where we can do much. We want to, but it's not. That's not the situation, and I don't think any president who would be elected right now would be that much different. I look at Obama as the new Jimmy Carter. I really never liked Jimmy Carter, and I don't care for Obama. But another point of why I would re-vote for Obama is because he is very weak on Israel, and a weak president for Israel is actually very good. You know, recently, yesterday, today, August is tomorrow, August 1st, 2011, there was a massive protest in Israel. 120,000 Israelis across the country, 50,000 in Tel Aviv alone, protested against economic reforms because the gap between rich and poor has grown tremendously in Israel. And today people are making at least a small group of people are making a lot of money, and a lot of people are making very little money, and the middle class is having, you know, they're not getting paid, or they're stuck in a tramp, and the government is very corrupt. It's been corrupt. The Knesset has been corrupt for decades now, and Benjamin Netanyahu is no different than the other prime ministers. He's playing the game and stuffing his pockets, and the people of Israel are standing up and saying, no, we're not going to stand for this anymore. Only right now, Bibi Netanyahu stands with 36% of the popular vote. So what hell will happen in Israel next year, 2012? I don't know. But for the moment, Bibi Netanyahu is a strong candidate to keep the Palestinians from destroying Israel and creating a state. He's the only thing we got, unfortunately. So Barack Obama can't do anything really against Netanyahu right now, because Netanyahu has the upper hand. Even though there's a lot of problems in Israel, Netanyahu does have the upper hand in the fact that he's a charmer. He's a strong man, and he can pull it through. So I think that a president of America who would be a strong person, or who would say, "Oh, I'm a good friend of Israel," and Israel's might think that he's a good person for Israel, would actually hurt Israel because it could put Israel in a spot. Because George Bush was a good president, junior for Israel, but he was a strong man, and he made Israel make concessions that if he was a weak president, they would have never had to make. So I look at a weak president like Barack Obama, good for Israel. Secondly, Barack Obama, I cannot put all the blame on him for any. I don't put blame on him for economic problems. This is an American problem. But what the Republicans are doing right now with the budget, Tuesday will be the deadline for whether we go into we cannot pay our bills. The Republicans are saying there's a political thing, and we're not going to go with the Democratic plan. We want serious cuts. We want smaller government. But smaller government means less less things for people, like less medical care, less social security checks, less school programs. Like smaller government, when you say smaller government, you mean I want to take away programs from my community. I want to take the poor and the sick and the elderly and give them less money for social security to live. And I know people that live from paycheck to paycheck on social security, and without that they would be in the slums, dead on the street from starvation. And smaller government means no to take away shelters. So the Tea Party saying that they want smaller government, and the Republicans saying that they want a real cuts. I find that absurd. I think that the Democrat proposal is not perfect. It has its problems, but it's better than the Republicans' plan, which is I don't even understand the Republicans' plan, because people that vote for the Republicans, most Republicans are not wealthy. I don't understand why. I think people, I'm sorry, but I think a lot of people that are voting for the Tea Party and the Republican Party right now are voting out of hatred for Barack Obama, and hatred that they don't understand. Now, I know a lot of people that are against Obama, and they don't understand. They don't understand me, and I understand that. But I'm big into the unconscious mind. That the unconscious mind of we do things and we think things that we don't understand because it's there deep inside us, but it cannot be revealed without us really focusing on it and trying to understand our inner selves. And I really think that Barack Obama, his problem is because he's black, and whether you're a racist or not, and if you don't like him because he's black, I don't think you're a racist. You just have your likes. Some people like chocolate, some people like vanilla. And clearly they are racist, but I think in most cases it's not people being racist. It's just that they see American president as being white, older man, and they look at Barack Obama as this black guy, jazz kind of guy, whatever, a bit young, and they don't look at him as a president. And this is very inappropriate. Our country is facing a serious crisis right now, and for us to be playing oh, I want somebody to look like this. Truman didn't look like president. When I looked at Truman, I didn't see a president. Truman became president because Roosevelt died, and he got elected again. And I didn't see Carter. He didn't look like president to me, but he was president. And Obama, yeah, he doesn't exactly look like president to me. I won't deny it. But I don't really have a problem with that, because right now I look at that we need to get this country on track. It doesn't need to go sky up like Grand Galore. What it needs to be is on the track towards a better future. And if we can stabilize ourselves, then we can get moving upwards. And for us to be playing politics because we hate a man that we don't even understand why we hate him, because if we hate Barack Obama so much, well, then we might as well hate, most of our presidents, because most of our presidents, if they were faced with this kind of situation, let's face it, if Reagan was faced with Democrats hating him, for what reason, but they hated him so much that they were willing to block everything in front of him. If Reagan was faced with such a blockade against him, if Reagan was faced with an economic crisis, as we are faced with, and a world, two big wars, Iraq and Afghanistan, and China now so powerful, how would Reagan deal with this? And I don't know if Reagan, we don't. It's hypothetical, and I don't think it's exactly fair to compare. But maybe he would have also been a president that can't do anything. And I don't think it's very good right now that we are blockading Barack from doing his job because he wants to be a good president. He wants to go down in history as a good president. So why would he do anything to destroy the country? What is truly happening is because of our hatred towards him, we ourselves are destroying this country. And it reminds me of the ancient Rome. The barbarians did not destroy Rome. The Romans destroyed Rome because they didn't like the taxes, they didn't like to go in the army, and they basically kind of invited a lot of the barbarians in, and they were into such corruption and such political power that everything was political that they destroyed themselves. And this is what's happening today in America. I love it today that it's cool, it's acceptable for politicians to say, well, I had to vote this way because for political reasons. So that means that it's kosher that you can vote in the government today for political gain. And that's absurd. Recently, gay marriages were passed in New York State, and it was one Republican from Buffalo who made the vote happen. A few years ago, this Republican voted against gay marriage, so he was on CNN last week, and they asked him, well, why did you vote against it then, and now you vote for it now? And he says, well, first time around I had to do it for political reasons, for the Republican Party, but this time around, because Republicans are in charge, we didn't have to. I was able to do it. So, because the Republican Party wasn't in charge back then, he says he had to vote it against. He had to vote against it for political gain. Now he can vote for it because the Republicans are in charge. Come on, people. If we allow our politicians to act this way and make these kind of decisions, we will destroy our country. Not today, not tomorrow, not in our following generation, but along the line, the next 50 years, we could be seriously looking at a serious crisis. Just like the ancient Rome did, and Greece, and this, land of Israel, ancient Israel destroyed itself because of political turmoil, kings fighting against kings, people fighting against people. Ultimately, I believe in voting for Barack Obama in 2012 because, one, he's good for Israel because he can't do anything against Israel, and Israel doesn't trust him, and because they don't trust him, they're not willing to do what he wants, and they know they can get away with it. Secondly, there's nobody running on the Republican ticket, including Romney, that I feel is qualified to be president and should be president, and they all, excuse me, but they suck. I look at the Republican ticket and I cry and ask myself, this is all America can offer. Thirdly, I'm willing to vote for Barack Obama next time around because a president that's dealing with this turmoil now, for us to switch places and take a new boss can put us into trouble. Let him, in the next 4 years, he can maneuver things, he can put things more in his plan, and he'll have the opportunity to sway it into the second term of his legacy, and hopefully, get this country back on track. And if he can't do anything, maybe that's good, because the more laws we pass, the more finagling we do, the more deeper in debt we can become, and if we just stay, we can hopefully ride the waves and build ourselves up slowly. Fourthly, I believe in voting for Barack Obama in 2012 because I don't think there's anybody else to take the job right now, and he's just, well, I'll be honest. I think if we get rid of him, it will be because he's black, and we brought a black man into office because he's black, and now we want to get rid of him, and I think that's really bad. I don't care. It's just not kosher in my opinion, and I feel that if I don't vote for him, I'm going to vote for somebody who's inappropriate anyway, so I might as well keep the man who's already in charge, who hopefully can back and lead this country to a better tomorrow and future for our children and ourselves. Anyways, I'm running out of time. unfortunately. And God bless to everybody. I respect everybody's opinion, and I hope that we ultimately see a wonderful 2012 for all peoples across this world and the American people as well. Um, and may the best individual win. God bless America, God bless Israel, and God bless um, everybody. Amen.